My name is Ethan, and what I'm about to share isn't something I ever imagined would become the center of my life story. It began on a normal night in San Diego, a night that changed how I see life, death, and the love that binds us all. I always trusted facts and numbers. I worked as a corporate operations director for a big health firm. I helped launch a new drug that might cure Alzheimer's. I even flew to Washington, D.C. for that launch. But then the FDA pulled the drug and I had to lay off my whole team. I planned to join my old firm, but things had already begun to change. That same night I woke with a sore calf. I thought it was just a pulled muscle, so I tried to work it out by riding my bike along a steep, straight road by the coast. The ride grew hard and my breath came in short gasps. My calf swelled to 1.5 times its size. When I got home, I went to the doctor to get an anti-inflammatory prescription. But when I pressed my heel to the floor, as the doctor said, I collapsed. They rushed me to the emergency room. The CT scan and blood tests showed 7 clots had formed in my leg. The clots had traveled up from my calf to the main artery that feeds my lungs. Soon, I also caught an infection from a drug-resistant germ called MCA. This led to septic shock, and my blood vessels became so clogged I could not even draw blood from my arm. I felt like a floppy fish out of water, lying helpless on a hospital bed. The tests showed that my heart had stopped and my brain went quiet. I was clinically dead for 30 minutes and 49 seconds, as the hospital records say. Then I slipped away. I found myself in a place far beyond my body. I was not awake in the usual way. I saw my body lying still on the bed as I floated in a bright space filled with deep wonder and beauty. All around me, a pure light pulled me in. At first, I did not know if I was dreaming or if this was the end of all I had known. In that space, I saw many figures. Some looked strong and kind, while others seemed tired and worn, as if life had weighed them down for years. They stood in silence, as if they were in a battle of the heart. I felt caught between life and death. My senses were not the same there. I saw feelings in bright colors and held memories as if they were soft cloth. I heard a calm voice that spoke pure love. In the middle of that quiet fight, one clear voice rose above the rest. It was warm and sure, and I knew it was not just any sound. I cried out, "Jesus!" My voice came from deep within, born from years of doubt and fear. In that moment, the bright light grew even stronger, and I felt a pull like being drawn home after a long trip. I saw a figure approach filled with so much love that all my fear melted away. I knew I was with Jesus. I was not ready for how close this felt. Without a word, he held me in his arms and turned me to face him. His eyes shone with a light that cut through all my dark thoughts. He looked right into my soul and took away my need to fight or prove myself. In a soft, clear whisper, he said, "Trust me." Those 2 simple words filled me with a deep, true love that made all my pain seem small. Then I saw my life play out before me. Time did not matter in that space. I watched my best moments and my worst as if I were seeing a clear movie of my life. I felt no blame, only a strong care that forgave and healed. Every mistake and hurt was met with a love that wiped away regret. I felt each breath like a gentle song, and every heartbeat rang clear and true. I was lost in a sea of pure love that took away fear and doubt. The air shone with hope, and my soul felt light and free. I was wrapped in a warm glow that made me feel safe and truly loved. The soft light filled me with a peace that reached every part of my heart. In that place, each moment felt full of life and deep care. Every word, every sight told me that love is the true force that brings us home, even in our darkest times. One memory still lives in my heart. I recalled a small, weak boy I met in a hospital when I was young. I worked there not as a boss, but as a kind soul trying to help. The little boy, about 6 or 7 years old, told me in a soft voice that he would go to heaven. I doubted him then, but his words stayed with me. A few days later, I learned that the boy had died. In my life review, I saw him again, calm and kind, telling me that his prayer for me had been heard. That moment taught me that love and prayer reach the heart of heaven, even from a small soul. As my time in that bright space went on, I saw clear signs for my future. A small, bright butterfly landed on my left shoulder. I learned that the butterfly was a sign of wisdom. It told me that I still had work to do on earth. Jesus told me that he would show me my purpose step by step so that I would always lean on him. With a heavy heart, I knew I had to return. Heaven was not my home forever, not until I had done all that was meant for me. Coming back was the hardest part. I woke in a body that was hurt and weak. My heart was damaged, my brain had bleeds, and my body was not the same. The pain in my body was nothing compared to the loss of the deep love I felt in that bright place. I had seen a love so real that returning to the normal world felt like a great loss. For a long time, I sank into deep gloom, missing the warm presence of Jesus and the peace of heaven. I even lost part of my old drive to succeed in my work. After I returned, I found that even simple things were hard. I nearly spilled my drink on a flight when a soft voice told me to share my truth. That small push helped me decide to speak out. I began to share my tale with close friends and trusted guides. For 14 long years, I kept this truth to myself, fearing that others would not see it the way I did. But as time passed, I felt a strong need to let it out. I now share my story not for fame, but so others can know that they too can heal and find true love. Every time I say, "Trust me," I feel that deep care again. It reminds me that no matter how far we stray, we can always come back to love. I have learned that life is not about wins or awards, but about the love we share and the trust we give to something more. Every mark on my body and each bit of pain now shows me that our path has a true aim beyond what we see. I ask you to think of your own life. Know that every hard test and each loss can lead you to a better love. No matter how alone you feel, you are part of a grand design filled with true care and hope.